Talking about claims, if only 5 to 10% of insurance buyers file claims, how do you provide value apart from peace of mind for the remaining 90 to 95% of buyers? Seems like they don't quite get what they pay for.
This is exactly the point I make in the book, that the remaining 90 to 95% of people really aren't seeing any value out of it. They're paying the money, but they're not getting any value out of it. The value is the means to the end, the ability to show somebody that you have insurance coverage if you need to. Sometimes it's required by law, or it's required by the bank or somebody like that. And so you've got that piece of paper that you can kind of show your proof of insurance. But otherwise it's, potentially there's that peace of mind, or it's very prudent, that bad thing didn't happen this year, but you still keep the policy because that bad thing could happen next year. But this is exactly my point in the book, of that, it's not very valuable. Most people don't see any value for that money that they paid, and the money that they paid is often quite similar to what you might pay to rent a place to live, or to run your electricity or pay your water bill, or other things that you see tangible benefit from. If I don't pay my water bill, I don't get water out of my taps. I can't use a toilet. I see benefit for these things, and so for insurance you don't. And I do think that this is part of the big challenge for consumers, is that they want to be able to understand what they're getting for that money. A lot of insurance companies now are talking about being partners, providing services. If I can detect water leaks, or I could tell you how you're driving, I can tell you that your plumbing needs to be replaced, or give you some feedback on your driving to make you a better driver. And these models are very interesting, to think that there's going to be much more engagement with the customer rather than a once a year renewal, or maybe at claim time where you interact with your insurance company. But I think that consumers aren't used to working with their insurance company in that way. So I actually think that startups have a much better chance of making these types of models work, because the consumer doesn't have a preconceived notion of them and how they should interact with them, in the way that they do have a preconceived notion of how to interact with an insurance agent or the insurance carrier, and they're kind of accustomed to that very limited interaction. And so to try to have a lot more interactions, to be your partner, to support you, or support your lifestyle, I think these are things that are going to be very difficult for traditional carriers to change the engagement model with their consumers. Not impossible, but I think it's going to be much harder than most traditional agents and carriers realize.